Breaking news! A new Supergirl joins the DCEU. Okay. Hello! I'm Asha from Asha Media TV. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before and you're looking for some more, if it's your first time, well, I'm Asha, as I just said. That's my name, yes. And what I do here at Asha Media TV is I react and review to a bunch of stuff related to sci-fi, fantasy, comic book galore. Okay, so we're talking TV shows, trailers, movies, and entertainment news. So in this bit today, I'm going to go dive into the latest update about Sasha Calle, who has been cast as the new Supergirl in the upcoming, yet to be officially titled Flash movie. So before me right here, I have an article from Screenrant. The link is below in the description. And I want to kind of read 3 paragraphs from it and give you my take as I read through the paragraph. I'm not going to rant on and on and on like some of you have probably noticed in my previous videos. I want to keep this very simple and short. I have a very specific opinion or specific opinions about this casting that may be surprising to some of you. I know one point of it may upset fan base, but it is what it is. You're here to drink my tea about this, so let's dive into it, shall we? All right, so I'll start off with one of the main paragraphs that kind of dives into the whole casting process. So it says here, in a surprise announcement, director Andy Muschietti, I think it's Muschietti, revealed Supergirl will make her DCEU debut in The Flash. Calle is primarily known for her role in the daytime soap The Young and the Restless, interesting, for which she was nominated for a Daytime Emmy. Supergirl will be her first major film role. Brava. That's always, every aspiring actor's goal is to break through, so that's great. And her involvement is just another hint at the scope of the Flash movie, which is said to adapt the Flashpoint comics arc. Very important point there. I'm going to come back to it. All right, so from this paragraph, we know 3 things. We know that from the name Calle, I'm presuming, I haven't looked it up, to be honest, but I'm presuming she is Latina or of Latina descent. And so that's one factor. That's a deviation from the original Supergirl that we're used to so far. And we also know she can act. A Daytime Emmy? That's pretty good. From a soap opera? That's pretty good. So that gives me some optimism there to go, okay, at least she can act. She's not just another pretty face, okay? All right, let's move on to the next paragraph. So it says here, Calle's casting came after Muschietti and other executives watched over 400 audition tapes. Wow, that's a lot. Searching for the right actress to fill the role. That kind of care and attention to the process of casting the character portends big things for Supergirl's presence in the DCEU. So, while Calle is relatively unknown, it seems that DC is looking at her as part of the future of their DCEU lineup. That says a lot right there. And I like the way how this writer formulated this. Very interesting. So, I'm going to now kind of dive into 3 main reasons why I think it's totally fine that they've cast a non-white, non-Caucasian actress to play Supergirl. Okay? Hear me out before you freak out in the comments there. Hear me out. All right? Okay. Now, I want this very clear. There's a disclaimer right now rolling. It says there that I'm a normie. I always like to put up this disclaimer whenever I can in my videos, especially when it's related to comic book media. Okay? I'm a normie, meaning that I'm used to the mainstream aspect of these comic book properties. We're talking the television shows and the movies primarily. The source material itself, very little to no knowledge, and any knowledge I do know in the moment, it's with a bit of research on Wikipedia, to be honest, or from an actual comic book expert. There's plenty of them on YouTube, to which sometimes I'll watch some of their videos, and they'll explain stuff and break things down much easier for my normie mind to process. All right? I want to be fair with that disclaimer. I'm not an expert. So if you feel the need to correct me and really, wag your finger at me on stuff, that's fine. Just do it respectfully with, civility in the comment section, and we're all good. Okay. Ready? Reason number 1 why I think it's totally fine within the context of what this movie's going to be about is that it's going to be based on the Flashpoint arc, as they said. Now, spoilers ahead for those of you that are not familiar with the Flashpoint arc in the Flash comics. I primarily know it from the actual animated movie, which is a great movie, by the way. I highly recommend to watch it if you really want to have an idea of what the Flash movie will likely be about. So, say it to you now, spoilers ahead. Ready? Set? All right, let's go. In the Flashpoint comic part, or the whole storyline with Flashpoint, the Flash, goes back in time and he changes a really significant event in his life. But that change caused a ripple effect. More or less, it changed the actual present future that he goes back to. So I'll give you one example that's in the actual story. In his present day, Batman is Bruce Wayne. But when he goes back in the past, changes a very significant event in his personal life, then comes back to the present, Batman is no longer Bruce Wayne. It's actually Thomas Wayne, his father. So, with this Supergirl being of Latina ethnicity, okay? And I apologize if I have terms like that wrong. I'm not up to date. I'm not politically correct on everything, okay? But I think you get the gist that I'm trying to say here. With a non-white actor playing Supergirl, this makes sense in the context of, in the present day, Flash perhaps has Superman or a blonde-haired white Supergirl. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's unclear still. What's going to be in his present day. And then it makes sense that once he goes in the past, does some stuff he shouldn't do or didn't know he was not supposed to do, and then it comes back in the present, there would be a new version of that character. So it makes sense. It would look like someone, it would be either a Supergirl of a different ethnicity, or what I'm presuming they're going to do based on the last paragraph, which I'll touch on in a few moments. I think they're going to have it where in his present day, it's a Superman that is in his world. He goes back in time, does some stuff that changes the course of history, and when he comes back into his present day, Superman no longer is not, he doesn't exist. It's Supergirl. Make sense? There's logic there. Okay, I think anyway. So, my second point why I think it's about freaking time we bring on Supergirl. I don't care who she's cast with, seriously. I'm just glad we finally are getting a Supergirl. Period. In the movies, okay? As far as I know, until further notice with the state of movie theaters, the medium of movies and the medium of television is completely separate. It just is. The CW kind of has their foothold on the whole DC television show stuff, and Warner Brothers, DC Entertainment specifically, has their foothold on the cinematic feature films and all that, okay? They're separate. And I think people need to realize that with that separation comes different avenues that they want to take the characters, which is absolutely fine. It's fair, okay? So that makes my second point all the more important, that we haven't had Supergirl on the big screen since 1984! Since Helen Slater! And unfortunately, that movie tanked. But I still love that movie. It's one of my guilty pleasures, and I love Helen Slater. Anyways, but that's not the point. The point of it is, it's been over 30 years since we've had Supergirl on the big screen. And so just that in and of itself is exciting. It's exciting that someone is now really willing to finally get it on screen, get it into production to bring Supergirl to the big screen again and try something new. And the Flashpoint arc is the perfect context. Again, it's about context to introduce a new version, a new idea of who Supergirl could be in today's modern world. All right? So I also want to touch on the fact that I understand. And I don't denounce them. I don't hate on them or anything like that. I understand the fans that feel it should be authentic to the comics. You know, she's white with blonde hair with blue eyes, and we need that again. I understand. However, you need to remember, it's not like we haven't had a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Supergirl for the past 6 years. Or 6 seasons going right now. Melissa Benoist is on TV. She's been on TV as Supergirl, as a phenomenal Supergirl. I'm not a big fan anymore much of the show as a whole, I'll be honest. Very separate thing for me. Melissa Benoist, huge fan. I think she's such an amazing actress. I think she really gives it her all to portray this character to the best of her ability and to the best of the script that they give her every episode. But the show as a whole has got some issues, especially since midway season 4 and up, okay? However, because I'm a fan of Melissa Benoist as an actress, I still watch the show, mainly to watch her performance, because I'm an actor as well. And so a lot of it for me, it's more on the craft. I like watching many of, not just her, but many of the other actors down there. I think they're really good actors. Even though, like I said, I don't have the most positive opinions about the show where it's gone, especially in the last few years. However, for the final season coming up, season 6, I definitely will be showing my support as a fan in a general sense by watching that last season. I mean, at the end of the day, I still think that Melissa Benoist did a great job considering the factors that they had to go through for the past 5.5 years with that show. All right. So if you want your blonde-haired, white, Caucasian Kara Zor-El, you still have her on TV. If that's not good enough, too bad. You're just gonna have to wait till they decide to go that route. Okay. Third point here. This is where I wasn't sure how I was going to articulate this because I don't think this is a popular opinion. I don't even think it's an opinion at all. I could be the first one you hear this from. I think. If I'm not, please let me know. If there's other YouTubers that has addressed this particular point I'm going to talk about, I want to know. It will actually make me feel better because I want to know I'm not alone in thinking this. So, with Sasha Calle as a Latina playing Supergirl, like I said, this is a chance for them to reset things. That's the whole point, I believe, of Flashpoint. In fact, if you dig a little deeper, it seems that DC Entertainment is using the Flashpoint arc to reset their actors. All right? Because at the moment that I'm recording this, there's a lot of shakeup with the original cast from Justice League. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Again, I'll be more specific about that in an upcoming video when I address the whole situation with Superman. So for now, I just want you to keep that in mind, that the Flashpoint arc allows a reset. So with that reset comes what I believe the best opportunity for them to finally trailblaze Supergirl into Superwoman. People, listen, let's keep things real again here. When they created Supergirl back in the day, after the success of Superman, if you really pay attention to the details of the creation of Supergirl, she really was created as a token, really, of Superman, as a tokenized character of Superman. She was the little sister, kind of like, it was just a female version, really. It was just a female counterpart of the same character. And that's the origin, really. And I feel it's so outdated. And thankfully, As the years went by, despite the first movie being a bomb, in the comics, the character of Supergirl evolved, having her own story, having her own villains, and I feel has reached a point now she really holds a valid, justified place in the mythology of Superman as a whole. But I feel we need to get rid of this Supergirl label, especially this. I think most of you hopefully will agree with this reasoning here, this rationality. Especially if the character of Supergirl that Sasha Calle is going to portray is a grown-ass woman. If she's in her mid-20s to late 20s, just like the character of Supergirl in the Supergirl show, why are we calling her Supergirl? This is now the chance for the movie world to be like, okay, we're going to do something more modern, more mature, more up-to-date, and let's give her the Superwoman label. Now, I know for hardcore fans, because I did my research a little bit, believe it or not, I do try to do my due diligence where I can. I know that the Superwoman term in the comics of things with Superman is applied primarily to Lois Lane whenever she gets Superman's powers. I know that. But you know what? Lois Lane, in and of herself, is iconic. That Lois Lane is Lois Lane. And I don't think unless, we're probably in season 2 or 3 of Superman and Lois, if it reaches that far, we'll touch on Lois Lane getting powers, which I hope they don't do. I'll be honest, I hope they don't do. But anyway, I think just like many other movies, comic book related, where the source material is kind of manipulated for different purposes for a global audience, this is the time where they can now actually officially use the term Superwoman and apply it to this Supergirl. Like I said, if she's going to be a grown-ass woman, make that clear and not call her Supergirl. I want to bring to your attention how the Supergirl TV show addressed, or more or less justified, the label of Supergirl in literally a few minutes of dialogue between Kara and Cat Grant. Okay, I'm going to read it to you right now, word for word, what was said in that scene. So, spoilers again, for Supergirl in season 1, this is where Kara sees the news headline that Cat Grant wants to print out, labeling the superhero as Supergirl. So Kara says, "We can't name her that. I don't want to minimize the importance of this. A female superhero, shouldn't she be called Superwoman? If we call her Supergirl something less than what she is, doesn't that make us guilty of being anti-feminist? Didn't you say she's a hero? Right?" Okay. Cat Grant's response. People. "And what do you think is so bad about girl? I'm a girl and your boss, and powerful and rich and hot and smart. So if you perceive Supergirl as anything less than excellent, isn't the problem you?" And they never touched on it again throughout the series as far as I'm aware of. If they have elaborated on it at some point that I don't remember, please tell me in the comments. But that, to me, I remember my own reaction when I saw that episode and I saw that exchange. I was like, really? You couldn't come up with anything else? I'd rather they say that she was photographed looking so young they thought she was a teenager, so they just labeled her Supergirl. Rather than, I'm a girl. And Cat Grant, portrayed by Callista Flockhart in the show, she's no girl. As a woman myself, in my 30s, I don't want somebody calling me girl, because I'm not a girl, I'm a woman. All right, I think you get the point of all this. I don't want to yabber on it. Basically, this is a time for them to go from Supergirl to Superwoman, and that will be pretty damn sweet. Let me now conclude with the final paragraph that I believe sums it up pretty clearly why this is a great casting choice and why it's actually about time, just in general, for us to have Supergirl in the DCEU. Like, stat. So it reads here, with Cavill's future as Superman up in the air, it could be the perfect time to bring on another Kryptonian and could help the DCEU figure out just where Cavill fits into the future of the franchise. Cavill is not currently slated to appear alongside Supergirl in The Flash, but DC should not pass up on that opportunity. The franchise needs them more than ever. Now, I'm very much aware at the moment that I'm recording this that there is some big news about Henry Cavill, being out as Superman and being replaced with another version of Superman or another type of Superman. It's unclear, but basically Cavill's out so far, as far as we know. And there's also other controversy around him that's not related to Superman, which is very unfortunate, and I really hope gets cleared up, because that's where I agree that we need them both. And not only will it flesh out a more clear path for the Man of Steel himself, but also it'll give more of a boost to DCEU, especially after everything they've gone through. Let's keep it real again. Whedon's Justice League didn't do them any favors. Anyway, that's that for now. That's my piece on this bit of entertainment news. Look out for more video reactions of the next episode of Superman and Lois coming at the end of this week, as well as more of my commentary. I call it my 7 cents worth because, worth more than 2 cents, but I wouldn't pay a dime for it. And nor should you. All right, I'm Asha tuning out. Peace. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. You know you wanna.